Hi YouTube family, it's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. In today's video we are bringing you a furniture flip. This is where we take a thrifted piece of furniture, actually it's going to be 3 pieces of furniture, and give these unwanted, unloved, outdated piece of furnitures new life. So if you're new to my channel, I do lots of trash to treasure and thrift to treasure and thrifting adventures for thrift hauls, all to fit into the farmhouse decor, and my husband Chris does the furniture flips. And I do assist him once in a while. So what we do is we share the process of what we do to pieces or thrifted items, unwanted, unloved, discarded pieces of items that others might consider trash, and we make them into treasures, all to resell. So in today's video part of this furniture flip, we were sent by Super Clean some cleaning products to try on our pieces to see how well we like them. So in the middle of the video, there will be a little tutorial, just a little blurb giving this company a shout out. We are not sponsored by them. They really just asked us to try out their product. So can I tell you my excitement when I ran across 2 matching side tables? That does not happen very often. I don't know if people buy them separately or they only put them out separately at my Goodwill. And then when I ran across this oak bedside table, I knew that it was a nice sturdy piece, and since we always thrift hardware, I'm never concerned about missing hardware. So the first thing Chris has to do is assess these pieces. Of course, I'm the one who thrifted them, so I'm always hoping that he's not like, what did you do? So I'm hoping that my guest and what I see in a thrift store is something that if there is anything wrong with him, that he can fix. But I definitely love when it has that dovetail drawers, and it always has a little bit of wear, but for $10.09 I definitely knew that he could fix these up and make them look new again. I absolutely loved all that detail. Those legs were just gorgeous, and a drawer is just an added feature on a side table. I know that people absolutely love drawers on side tables, and then that hardware was just gorgeous, and it had both of the rungs for that drawer to slide in and out of. But as you see, there's little bits and pieces that need to be fixed, but overall these were in wonderful shape. Now for this side table, you definitely already knew that it was missing a piece of hardware, but that detailing just got me. So I just could not help myself. I had to grab it up. I just absolutely loved all the detail. And there was a little bit of wonkiness, but I knew that Chris was going to be able to tighten it up. And the drawers were a little bit on the sticky side, but that's so normal with these thrifted pieces. As you can see, the bottom is falling out. I don't know if it was used that way or if it was stored that way, but I just loved all the detail. And yep, it was missing that little piece of trim, so I was hoping that he could reproduce that, since we were going to be painting this piece. And I know people get sad when you start to paint oak, but when it's missing detailing like that, we're not refinishers, we are painters. And so for the price tag that they were asking for this, I did not feel bad painting this piece. So you know it's bad and it's really dirty if Chris has to blow off, but it has been sitting in our workshop for a while until he got to these pieces. Sometimes these bigger side tables don't sell as fast, but they're just beautiful pieces that I just can't pass up. So he's getting rid of spider webs and sand dust and just stuff that builds up. You know, when a guy won't touch it, you know that it's dirty. Now he's going to go in and he's going to be using this Durham water putty. I absolutely love using this as a spackle, as a wood filler. A little bit of the powder, a little bit of the water. Let it sit, let it dry. It is rock hard, but it is sandable. So all those little dings and scratches on these pieces, he's going to go in and just mix up to the consistency that is the easiest for him to use, and then use it like a wood filler to fill in any of those scrapes, any of those marks where pieces have been chipped off. And I can't say enough about this product, and the cost efficient, very cost efficient, and I find it at Home Depot, Amazon. So it is very readily available if you're interested in trying out this product. Nope, we're not sponsored. I just absolutely love this product. Now, this is our personal preference when it comes to flipping. We always remove any of the hardware. We usually don't paint the hardware the same color as what we are painting the furniture piece, and we like to paint it separately. Like I said, whatever works for you, this is just a process that we like to share what works for us. And then I think I just thrifted this little measuring cup, this plastic measuring cup, and we throw the pieces in there because we usually just clean our pieces, taking them into the house with some hot water and some Dawn dish soap. So it's just easier just to throw all the pieces right in there, get any of that gook, any of that buildup off of them. And since it's already in a plastic container, I can clean it right there. But absolutely love all the detail on these pieces. Now remember, part of my thrifting adventures is I'm always looking for hardware. I almost never pass hardware up if it is metal and it looks vintage. So this is the storage bins that we have. Yep, they used to be my scrapbooking drawers, but I no longer scrapbook. The kids are grown now. So we have recycled these to use them for all our hardware, so we have it kind of separated out. So what Chris is doing is going through our stash and seeing if there's anything that matches or is similar that you can change the two out, or do I have a matching one? So I'm sure other furniture flippers do this also, because it's not cost efficient to buy new hardware every time you're doing a piece. That just increases the price and that you have to resell your piece of furniture for. Now, even though he did not find another pole to match, he did find two knobs that are the same type. They have that detailing, and they definitely will make a nice accent to this piece. So before filling in those other holes, since this is already centered, he can eyeball a little bit better if he doesn't fill them in first to where that knob is going to go. So he's just drilling out a hole for that knob now. And now he'll go back in with some of that Durham water putty and fill in those other two holes on the side. That way you don't see them from the front. Not going to worry too much about it. Will kind of go through the hole in the inside, but you'll know that they have been replaced. But that's the perfectly imperfect of furniture flipping. You much rather have two matching knobs than one pole by itself. And see what I said about having this container that we just wash our hardware in every time? It just makes it convenient that you don't have to change it into something else when you get into the house. And just some hot water and some Dawn dish soap. I always use the blue, so I get questions about that. If the blue is the only one you can use, that's the only one I use. So we just soak it in some hot water, let it sit a little bit, and then rinse them off and then let them dry. And now that the hardware is dry, we like to stick the pieces. We just save that styrofoam that comes on things that you order to stick our hardware on, especially since we like to do the screws or any little nails. It's just really nice because you can stick those into the styrofoam. And then we are blessed to have this spray room and be able to put this hardware on a turntable that, of course, I've thrifted also, so you can spin the pieces around to get them full coverage. And we absolutely love using the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in flat black to spray our hardware pieces. Now, after the black spray paint has dried, to seal and protect these hardware pieces, that are metal and they're going to get used and pulled on, we like to spray a top coat of polycrylic on them. That just helps the longevity of these pieces, that spray paint stays on them. So now the Durham water putty has set up, and like it said, it is rock hard, but it is sandable. I'm not going to say that it's easily sandable like a spackle would, but it's perfectly okay because you want it to be on there for longevity. You don't want it to be chipped off again. So Chris is just taking some 220 sandpaper and pressing hard to get that in and as nice and smooth as he possibly can. You don't want to see that bump of where you've added on that wood filler, that Durham water putty. So now for the piece of trim work on this bedside table, he could not find a piece of trim at our local Home Depot. That's the only hardware store kind of that we have in our town that's local. So he is creating his own piece to match this up. So he's taking a little piece of wood and then some quarter round and matching it up to his best of his ability. And I think it's going to turn out wonderful. So he's just attaching the two pieces using some tight bond glue and along with the assistance of some brad nails. And then to match up that detailing, he has two pieces of the flat wood that he's gluing onto this quarter round, because if you notice, that's the detail that the trim is now. So then you got the two flats and the quarter round for a perfect match. So now he'll just use some more of that tight bond glue and those brad nails to hold it in place, and hopefully this piece will never fall off again.
So let me start out by saying Super Clean is not sponsoring this video. They do not give us any money or anything. They gave us a product to use to try out. That's the great thing about YouTube is you get to see products that you might see on Amazon or you see at Walmart or Home Depot or wherever you might be shopping, and you've never seen it used before and you don't know if it works or not. So this allows you to get a preview of, is Super Clean really what you want to buy the next time you go and buy a degreaser? So they gave us a sample package of different things that we can try out. We're going to try using the Super Clean. I believe this is probably their original. It's just called a degreaser. It's super easy, super fast to use. They also sent a chart. The chart basically breaks down if it's indoor, outdoor, automotive, RV, and then it also breaks it down into more specifics. Over here we have woodworking, and woodworking is 1 part Super Clean to 16 parts water. That is what we'll try out on this furniture, and we'll see what the results are like.
Now, for us using a Super Clean in the workshop, we need a product that we can just put on a rag or spray on the item and wipe off that there's no water required, because our workshop does not have water. So far this product is cleaning perfectly, just as good as the other cleaner that we've ever used. I have to say that it's a nice cleaner. It's getting all that buildup, all that grime, all that grease, all that yuckiness when you buy a thrifted piece of furniture that you want off before painting it. Now, we have to say that we would definitely give this product a great review. It cleaned these thrifted items great. I mean, it was a wipe on, rub off, no rinsing. It got all that grease, all that dirt. It did not leave a tacky residue. It left them nice and smooth. I know some of you probably think, oh, you were giving that product, they're telling you to say that. No, they don't. They just give you a product and they say review it honestly, and that's what we do. We absolutely thought it was a great prep for cleaning these pieces and would highly recommend it. So now Chris is going on to using a ready-to-use a black onyx. It's right off the shelf at Walmart, no mixing required. So what Chris likes to do when he's doing his furniture pieces, we only distress the edges of the pieces and some of the details. So what he's going to go in and he just paints what he knows that he's going to distress, what he wants to show the details of these pieces with this black onyx. There's no need to paint the entire piece black, especially a big piece of furniture, if all we're going to do is go into the detail pieces and the corners and the edges to distress them. This is just something that he's kind of tweaked himself and learned over time, and not to waste paint. Now this is another ready-to-use right off the shelf Walmart paint. I'd picked it up to use in our sprayer, so Chris has decided that he wanted to give it a try on some pieces of furniture. White is white. It takes 3-4 coats of white anyway, so he wanted just to test this out. It worked okay on the sprayer, but to use it up, because that's what we are, we like to use what we have, he's just giving it a try, brushing it on to see how it does, see how it compares to the Kills paint and primer that we normally use. Now remember, this is all about looking at thrifted items in a different way, fixing up furniture, giving you ideas of what we do and what we use to flip furniture for a profit to resell. So it's whatever, when it comes to the painting, the color, what products you just use whatever you like. This is just cost efficient for us. We will now and again try out new products, but we seem to be creatures of habit that go back to what our good old standards of what work for us. So remember, if you like this kind of content and you want us to keep sharing our furniture flips with us, please remember to subscribe to our channel. That lets us know that you like these kind of videos. So even though Chris did not film, he did do 2 coats of this paint and then ended up switching back over to our Kills paint and primer ready to use flat white. For this type of wood, it just was not covering whatsoever to what we were looking for. Not that it wouldn't be different on different types of wood, but you know, you have to give other paints a try every now and again. So here's that distressing I was talking about, the reason that he only painted those edges, the detail marks on these pieces black. So now he's taking a 220 sandpaper, and what he's doing is hitting the sharp edges, the corners, any of that detail piece. And so depending on how hard you push that piece of sandpaper, if you're pushing it lightly and you do multiple back and forths, you're going to work down to just that black. And if you push harder and you want to see the natural wood, it all depends on how hard you push and how many times you go back and forth, what look you're wanting. So what he's wanting is the black. So he's just going to take his time. There's a lot of detail on these pieces, but the way that we like to distress, it is worth our time just to accent all this hidden detail that sometimes you see it sort of in the wood, but once you paint it and then you distress it like this, oh my goodness, we just fall in love with this every time. The finishing paint that Chris used, the Kills paint and primer, it has a primer in it. So this is not a step you have to do, but we like to protect because we paint a lot of our furniture white. We absolutely love this Varathane finishing wax, and I don't know why, but we only can find it at the Home Depot. It is a wipe on, a wipe off. I've been asked if it yellows over time. We have not had any yellowing, anybody complaining that has purchased our furniture that it has yellowed. And I do in my booth, when we sell these pieces, we do tell you, don't use cleaning products, just use a damp cloth, a Mr. Clean dry eraser for any marks, as long as you're not removing that wax with any harsh chemicals and just using water to dust, or a Mr. Clean eraser to get any marks that may be left on these white pieces of furniture. That wax will stay on. So now it's that time to see that pop of that black hardware against this white furniture. I know you could buy new hardware if you wanted to. That is also a personal choice, but I love the vintage look of this hardware and cost efficient. It keeps our prices down by just spray painting them and protecting them with that polycrylic. But I absolutely love, I don't know if I'll ever tire of the white furniture with this black hardware. So on this decorative piece of hardware on this bedside table, it had these little bitty tiny nails. So definitely a reason you want to make sure that you put it in some kind of cup and keep track of them, because it's not very much fun trying to find another replacement nail to nail something like this in. But I definitely love to put the hardware back on these pieces. I think it just gives them so much character. The one thing I like to do, even though these are thrifted pieces, I like to get them as new as I possibly can. And not only do we clean the inside of the piece and the inside of the drawer, but I like to put some of this contact paper, and this one I get off of Amazon. Sometimes if I think the piece is a little bit more masculine, I'll use this, and other times I have a flower one that I get from the dollar store or from Amazon if Dollar Tree doesn't have it. But I just like, when you're buying a new piece of furniture for you, even though it's a thrifted piece, I just like to have that clean contact paper, and I think the black and white is just a classic look that can stand the test of time. And as you see with these little side tables, I thought with the detailing on them, they're a little bit more feminine. Not that a man can't use them, but I just added that flower paper that I was talking about that I get from the Dollar Tree. And I don't know if I will ever tire of our classic white with black hardware look. Remember, this is just what sells for us, and as long as it keeps selling, this is a look that we will always keep doing. I just absolutely love. I think it's classic. I think it will fit into anybody's home, and color is personal. You can paint when you're doing your own items, paint them whatever you want. So I thank you so much for watching today's video, and what did you think of our furniture flip, thrift to treasure, trash to treasure pieces of furniture? I don't know if I'll ever tire of the white furniture with the black hardware, but like we said in the video, there is a rainbow of color out there. You do whatever colors you like. We just want to give you eyes how to look at a thrifted piece in a new way. So again, I thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you're one of my regular subscribers, thank you so much. You have helped my channel grow. Just by you giving me a kind comment and a thumbs up lets YouTube know that you like this kind of content, and they will keep recommending me. And if you're new to my channel, please consider hitting that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when I've uploaded a new video.